All right, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about is time left. Your time left hunting. Now, for some of you guys, this may seem irrelevant. For many of you guys, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. But I got advice for each of you guys on this kind of concept because I did kind of gear my life around it. That's what we've done here for a very long time. For about the last 26 years, it has been basically following, Bella is 24, so for 24 years, 24 years since this has been set up this way. So let's put it into perspective here. Life is short. There's no other way to put it. Life is short and it's going to go by quicker than you think. For some of you guys, it may be over very, very soon. For some of you may live twice as long as you want to. I may be gone tomorrow. I may live to be way longer than I thought I did. None of us know. None of us know what's going to happen or how it's going to happen. We have no say in it or no choices. However, we can plan life for the stuff that we want to do. And I did that a long time ago. I left an engineering job to start a photography company. My family thought I was absolutely stupid. Bumped my head. What was I thinking? It was the dumbest choice I ever did. It turned out to be the best thing I've ever done for my family, ever did in history. And then even then with that, I even moved down here and I cut out the photography and do content creation for a living now. Every decision I've made for the last 25 years, other than obviously the priorities of taking care of my family, my wife and my daughter, and when Keegan was here, my wife and kids always came first. There's no denying that. They always drove the nicer vehicles. They always had everything they wanted. They did everything they wanted. They were always the priority 100% of the time for everything. But when you get to a point where you're like, well, God, I have nothing left for me. I got no time left. I don't have any energy left. I don't have any money left to do the things I want. Some people are like, oh, well, that's just life. No, it's not just life. I instead chose to say, well, I need to make more money then because I got them taken care of, but now I want some stuff too. So I need to make more money. And I did. And I figured it out. And I found ways. And I struggled and fought my way through it so that I could do what I wanted. In my world, it wasn't needed more money. It was needed more time to enjoy what I love, which is what we're out here doing right now. And that's been my motivator for the last 25 years. Every decision I've made for the last 25 years has been a way to get me out here even more. Even when Tina said, hey, let's move down to Georgia, sell the house up here and move into the Georgia house and stay down there full time. Now, I said, that's fine, but understand that if we do that, I'd like to retire. I'd like to skip and get rid of the photography business, cut out all this stuff, maybe do a little bit of part-time pressure washing down here, maybe a couple of weddings that I just want to do, but I want to be able to hunt a lot more. She said, that's fine. And we found a way to do it. Okay. It's always been a motivation for me to be able to spend more time in the woods. And I have spent, there's a deer right there. Sorry, I'm watching for hogs across the road. And there's that's a good buck too. Holy cow. I'm gonna see, you can't see him because you're on my phone. I can't zoom you that far. That is a beautiful 8-point full velvet still. 250 yards down there, standing right in the road. Sorry. If you guys see a hog cross the road over here, let me know. I was just into a group of them here. I made this my second video. I was just into a big group of hogs in here, about 300-400 yards into here. I lost them and couldn't catch up with them, and I'm hoping that I'm going to see them come across the road and give me a reset. But this is like I said, this is the reality. This is how this stuff works. This is how it is. So let's put it into perspective time-wise. Let's start at the top and work our way back down. Most of my friends, my good quality friends that I've known for a lot of years, have always been older than me. John is, I think, 61 right now. Tucker, he's a little over 60 from Tack to Saddle. Got Robert Carter, he's, 64, I think he is. You got L. Chapman. There's a lot of guys that I associate with a lot that are older than me. And you talk to them and you think about it, like even for John, for example, we talk about hunting Kansas. We're going to Kansas this year. And me and him are, and he's bringing his son out there with him. And we talk about it. It's like, realistically, if Kansas is getting to be 3 to 4 years, which you're getting to be, if it's 3 to 4 years for every time to draw, John's like, I might only be able to go this trip, and then I might do 1 or 2 more, and that might be it. He's like, even if I can do a 3rd trip out there, I'm most likely going to be much more confined. It's not like I'm going to be able to put all this gear on my back and hike miles and paddle in and hike up and down these ridges and hang stands twice a day and do all this stuff and do everything. It's like I probably won't be able to do that. I'll have to tone it down. This is a reality of time. He talks about bear hunting in Michigan. Okay, in one of the areas there, you're looking at about 10 years to pull a bear tag. He's like, I'm going to pull a bear tag next year there, hopefully. If I do, it will probably be my last time I get to hunt bears in Michigan. Things get an expiration date on them. As you get older, you realize that. And then I have a lot of friends too that have went from being very active and hunting hard to not being able to do so much because of health reasons and things like that. This is a reality, and I want to use it as a slap in your face to tell you to get off your ass and do something with your life while you can. That's basically what it boils down to. Okay, we have to look at the time factor. Now, what if you're somebody that's in your 50s? I'm in my 50s right now. I can still see the expiration dates because of the fact that I know how long I've been doing this. I know how long is left, and you realize you're closer to the end than you are the beginning. It's got a lot of power to it, and it sucks. It's scary. I don't like knowing that. Again, if I was living in Michigan and I wanted to bear hunt in Michigan, I might have 2 tags left if I'm lucky. In one of those tags, I might have to have an oxygen tank with me and I'd be hunting out of a wheelchair or with a walker somehow out of a ground blind. That's the reality of this stuff. Kansas, or Iowa, somewhere that's got, 4-year draw tags on there kind of thing. 4 more times? Okay, that's how quick this stuff is going. 4 or 5 times left, maybe. So you got to put this stuff into perspective. Robert Carter just retired this year. He was going to wait a few more years, and he just said, you know what? No. He's like, no. He's like, I'm tired of it. I have enough money. I'm in good enough position, and I'm just not doing it. And he retired this year. He said, I'm done. I need to enjoy the outdoors, and I need to do this stuff. Even John, he's on that point right now where when I talk to him, he's on that verge of, I don't know if I should just keep going for another 4 or 5 years, or if I should just say, screw it all and walk away right now and just spend my days doing what I love to do. These are choices you have to make and things that you got to do, but I promise you this, that clock is running much quicker than you think it is. Now, what about you 20-something-year-olds with, you got kids, you got 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, that kind of stuff, newborns at home, 10-year-olds. You're looking at it like, oh my God, I never get to hunt. All I do is take care of kids, my family, it's nonstop, it's all this kind of thing, and I get that. But I will tell you, enjoy every second of that family time that you have in every second with those kids, because it's going to fly by super fast. I promise you that, the next 4 years, if your kids are 10 years old, you got like 4 years left, and then they're going to want to they're much more independent, and they're going to want to do their own thing. And of course they want you to come to games and do that stuff, but your free time is going to free up a lot. And then when they're 18, forget about it. Okay. And then my daughter moved out at 18. Literally moved out of the house 10 days after her 18th birthday, got her first apartment on her own and moved out and moved 45 minutes away to start a business out there. So we didn't even get that where they stay at home through college, all that kind of stuff. So you never know what's coming. But if you got kids at home right now, enjoy that time with the kids. That's my only regret in life, was that I worked as hard as I did with the weddings while my kids were growing up, where I was gone 2 to 3 days a week, every single week, year-round minimum every time. Now, the rest of the time I was home with them, but I was gone 2 to 3 days a week, sometimes even 4 days a week in the summertime, completely gone and living out of hotel rooms, and it sucked. And I did that for 20 years, over 20 years, and I missed out on a lot of stuff. So my advice to you is, when you got kids at home, spend that kid time is quality time. Enjoy every second of it. If I got a choice to be out here or to be with my grandson, I'm choosing to be with my grandson, hands down. So that matters. But once your kids are basically more independent, you will get more free time to do these kind of things. My advice to you is if this is important to you and spending time in the woods and things like that is important, then while you have these kids and you're spending that time with them, start thinking about ways that you can make sure that you get everything set. Whether that means making more money, working different things, cutting back on stuff, have a way to have them prepared for life that they need to do so that you're good there. But on the same note, be ready so that you are setting yourself up for success. So when they don't need you there anymore, they're kind of doing their own thing and that kind of stuff. You can start to transition into enjoying the things that you want out of life and maybe not working as hard. Remember, I don't work for money. I work for time. That's basically what you got to understand. And that is the reality of it. I do not work for money. I work to buy free time. That is the difference between many people. So take that into consideration. Use that to your advantage, but just understand that the time is real. Okay. We don't have much of it here. I can remember my very first hunt for deer where I shot that deer, the first deer I killed, where I told you guys that story about that suicide deer where I was sitting Indian style on the ground against a poplar. I can still hear that deer's feet coming through those grasses, swoosh, 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 through because of the dew. And then I can see, I look over my shoulder and there they are. And that deer let me stand up, literally stand up and look at it. And then go, oh, it's a deer standing there at 20 yards. And then literally see my bow, bend down, pick my bow up, go to put it on there. My arrow's hanging off the side, swing my arrow back up, put it on my TM Hunter rest, hook my release on. Actually, I was right-handed at the time because I was still shooting my first deer compound right-handed. But hook my thing on, connect on my release, point it at the scar, draw it, line up, get everything set like that, and then get my peep sight lined up, boom, and shoot that deer. Well, it stood there at 20 yards, and I heart shot it. It was perfect. I remember that like it was 2 weeks ago. That was 30 years ago. Okay, it feels like it was 2 weeks ago. I remember every single thing about it. I remember the cold air blowing down my butt crack because of the fact that I was in coveralls, and inside of my camo coveralls, my shirt had bunched up in there and was like doing one of these, so I was all exposed right here, and you could feel the cold air literally going right down there. I remember everything about that trip like it was yesterday. It was 30 years ago. So that's how fast this goes by. If you want to enjoy life, but set it up so that you can enjoy life. So when you're not at this stage yet, where many of us are, where we're begging for more time, wishing we had more time, wishing we did things differently, wishing we could have had, wishing. If you're in that early stage of life, 20s, 30s even, start thinking about how you set yourself up so you're not wishing you had, but you get to enjoy. My advice for you, questions, comments, put them below. Thanks for watching.